Hey, it's Joseph Rothschild, aka Mono Blutron here. I'm back again with another episode of 10-Minute Testing, which I'm doing while eating mac and Cheetos from Burger King. This episode is sponsored by Burger King. Burger King, eat our fucking burgers. Let's jump into Deck Edit and see what we got today. I have brewed up this little monstrosity after getting hyped for the Paleozoic archetype at the set release. Unfortunately, they are currently ruled improperly on YGO Pro. In the OCG, their effects are optional, but when ported to the TCG, there was no decision clause, so now you have to activate them when any trap goes off. The upside is you get to summon all of them, where previously you only get to summon one per chain or one per trap activation. That makes them considerably weaker, and the weaker versions are what are on YGO Pro. For those of you who don't know, Burgesstoma or Paleozoic is a series of cards based off these old-ass dinosaurs that effectively are old magic or trap cards stapled to an effect that is, if a trap card is activated, you can special summon this card as a 1200 monster from your graveyard, and then they have some like tribal rank 2s that they can go into. I put it with Volcanics because Volcanics seems like a deck that uses trap cards a lot. It also fills the hole of having to have a Regeki effect or some way to be in the game. So we've got 3 rockets, 2 Royal Firestorm guards, the 3 scatter shots, 3 shells, 3 dualities. This one, Picala, is discard a Paleozoic, draw 2 cards. This one is MST. This one is Karma Cut. This one is send a trap from your deck to the graveyard, which is incredible with Blaze Accelerator Reload. This one is Book of Moon. This one is Shrink. And this one is return a banished card to your graveyard. I think it'll also be good with Blaze Accelerator Reload. We're also playing Reckless because we like to draw. And then we're playing a Solomon of Vanities. In the extra, we have some good rank 4s, and then a bunch of rank 2s, including the tribal rank 2s, which are Anomaly Carrots and Obonobia. So let's jump into the games. If there's one thing I can say about these mac and Cheetos things, is that there's too much macaroni in them, so it makes them impossibly hot. So you have to bring them home on the subway like I did, and then heat them up in the microwave the next day, and even then they're like a little gross and soggy because you heated them up in the microwave. Anyway, we're playing against some kind of Shaddoll Traptrix deck, which looks like a pretty exciting interpretation of Shaddoll's. I'd like to try it out. We draw a bunch of Burgesstomers, which isn't great. We do draw Piccolo, which means we get to draw a bunch of cards, which we'll do right now. He opens Twin Twister, which is pretty good. Then he normal summons Traptrix, Meomeligvitz, the one of Bottomless Trap Hole, uses Shaddoll Fusion to get Winda, and then uses his Shaddoll effects to get a whole bunch of other stuff. He sets a Falco and has a window. We don't actually have an out to window in our deck, with the exception of the Burgesstoma card that vanishes, the one that's basically Karma Cut. We draw a Pot of Duality off the top, don't see the thing that vanishes, but we do see a Rocket, which is pretty good with normal summon Rocket, hoping that he uses Bottomless Trap Hole, or rather knowing. That gets us Blaze Accelerator Reload. Unfortunately, even if we are able to Scattershot in this instance, we are not actually able to Royal Firestorm guards, which means we're probably going to lose anyway. You can see that he Twin Twisters these two. I don't think he really understands how Blaze Accelerator Reload works. We send a whole bunch of scatter shots to destroy everything but win. This is just Shaddoll effects going off, you know. He flipped up his Falco during his main phase, which is pretty great for us because it means he doesn't get to summon it. He sets something, we just have to draw the out, and there it is. Unfortunately, we're going to have to discard our Royal Firestorm guards, which means there's basically no way back in this game. There's not really one singular card that Volcanic could summon that is as good as Royal Firestorm guards. We'd have to find the second one. He flips Formata to try and kill my guy, but doesn't realize this guy isn't affected by card effects. We draw the second copy of Dimosculus, but it's a little too late, especially when his Falco brings back a beast, and I recognize that he's just going to go into whatever and kill me. As we all knew, Shaddoll's is a deck that floats, and Volcanics has a problem with decks that float. This guy's playing some kind of Blue Eyes nonsense. I'm not super concerned about it. He has the Chaos form, and this young man, he's drawn Maxi, which is laughably bad against our deck. We send a bunch of Burgesstomas to the graveyard in order to draw a bunch of cards, and then we set 4 Burgesstomas, 3 Burgesstomas, and a Blaze Accelerator Reload. We also have the Shell, which is exactly where we want to be. You can see us gaining advantage off of the Shell by discarding it to draw and then adding one to our hand. He has Phoenix Wing Wind Blast to return this card to our hand, but it's not a big deal because we have Rocket. We'll just get it back. We use Marinella and Shane Leonocia in order to special summon this guy as a 12 to push for damage, and also we can send a Blaze Accelerator Reload off of this card, which we do. So now we have a repeatable Regeki at any time. We have our draw engine set. When Wind Blast the wrong card. That's pretty exciting. He goes into Amber Factor off of Advanced Ritual Art, but we chain Dimosculus and banish it, which is basically our most effective way of getting rid of Dracolord. This card is actually pretty good. We attack him directly twice, then use Volcanic Shell to draw stuff. I figure I can burn him out with Scatter Shots if I just get a little more in, so I don't go for the extra summon. I want to be a little safe. This guy has an alternative in hand, but that's about it. His deck cards are Book of Moon and Book of Eclipse, which is unfortunate. I chain a trap card to Book of Eclipse in order to special summon a guy back, and then I can burn him out with Scattershot. He has Book of Moon to flip him back face down. That's unfortunate. We set a whole bunch of cards and then draw a whole bunch of cards, so this game's basically over. He draws an upstart. Off the upstart, he draws Pot of Cupidity, which is hilarious, but really not enough. He Twin Twists his Blaze Accelerator Reload, once again not really understanding what it does, and we get in pretty. This game we're playing against some kind of Constellar stun deck. He makes his Constellar man, what is this guy's name, Omega, then he plays Summoning Curse. Summoning Curse, unfortunately not very good against Volcanics. It's okay against the Burgesstoma engine, but we'll just play Volcanics in that case. Additionally, this guy is not protected from monster effects, which means that Scattershot is going to be able to kill him. He uses Tanky to get Brotherhood of the Fire plus Bear. I don't Solemn Warning this because I don't really see it as a problem, especially when you Protecting everything. I don't really have a problem with that, and I have no problem beating in for 1200 a turn instead of beating in for 1900. So he pays for Summoning Curse at the end step. I guess assuming that there is some world in which he will have to Summoning Curse. I draw some more traps and set them. I really have no monsters. If he summons a monster, we would be in hot water, although I do have the Solemn Warning to back up. At this point, we get in a little bit of hot water because we have 55 Burgerstomas in our hand. We do draw Picala, which means we get to... He goes to match with Bendy's Emptiness, all these stun traps that are just a little too late and probably not very good against Volcanic anyway. At this point, we're just going through the motions, using our stun traps every turn to hallucinate so we can actually get over Sheraton, because otherwise they would just hit each other and do nothing, and my opponent is done playing this game. Back with the deck, I'd like to say, first of all, don't let the games actually persuade you that this deck is good. As always, it's not particularly good. We didn't play against really good decks, with the exception of the Blue Eyes deck, where the guy bricked into the sun, and he was also playing a bad build anyway. I think this deck suffers from a lot of the same problems of original Volcanics, although I don't think the Burgesstoma engine really does anything to help that. If anything, it hurts, because we brick into these Burgesstoma guys so often. The amount of times you go into rank 2s is about 0, which means there's probably no reason to include so many of them in the extra deck. Many times I wish I just had a Cowboy in the extra deck. Additionally, I'd probably play a third copy of Royal Firestorm Guards. Having a monster is even more important in this version of the deck, because sometimes you have to have something that has more than 1200 attack to actually get over your opponent's problematic monsters. If anything, I think I'd probably play some battle traps, things like Quaking Mirror Force, or probably more importantly, stun traps like Rivalry might be alright in here. I could see it being a little problematic because you're trying to summon Pyro guys and Aqua guys, but you'll just go in on the version of the deck you want to be doing when you flip Rivalries. So that's that. I just finished eating the macaroni mac and cheese bites. I'd like to thank Burger King for so kindly donating them, and Konami for so kindly making Burgesstomas. If there's a certain deck you would like to see played, let me know in the comments below. I will play it next time, or if you say nothing, I'll probably just play whatever I want, which right now looks like it's going to be the Dark Magician deck that everyone is really hype about for no reason. As always, if you like the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me out, and I will see you tomorrow for another edition of 10-Minute Testing.